Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jocelyn Jam. If you're new to my channel, welcome and thank you for stopping by. Stay a while, and if you see that you like what I'm doing, please do subscribe. If this is not your first time, if you've been here before, thank you for coming back again and welcome. Hopefully you've subscribed at this point in time, and please do hit the notification bell so you know when I post my next video. So, today I saw a post about T.I. taking his daughter to the gynecologist to check if her hymen was still intact, i.e. if she was still a virgin. He even had the fatherly gall to post it on social media on her 18th birthday, saying, her hymen is still intact on her 18th birthday and all that. And I was just like, what in the tomfoolery? Like, what are you doing? Anywho, thanks to T.I., I decided to make a video busting some myths about hymen, sex, virginity. So it's going to be 5 myths that I'm going to be busting today on the idea of the hymen, sex, and virginity. So stay a while and learn something with me. Number 1 myth: the hymen is the ultimate proof of virginity. Not true. Okay, guys, I didn't know this. I had to learn this a couple years ago, or maybe even a year ago. Like, seriously, the hymen is not the ultimate proof of virginity. Now, the hymen, what it really is just a thin membrane surrounding the vaginal opening, usually shaped in a half moon. Now, like with the hymen, like with other parts of the bodies, people have they're different. They appear in different ways. And in some rare cases, women have hymens that completely block the vaginal opening, right? And with this case, it's usually they have to see a doctor for some minor surgical procedure to take care of that. But normally the hymen has a hole in the middle that lets out blood during your period, and that can also sit a tampon comfortably if you were to put it in there. Now, the hymen is not, blocked. Normally it's not supposed to be a blocked place where someone comes and punches it open with their penis. Really, no. But what happens is when you're having sex for the first time, there could be some bruising or pain that results in blood down there. But it's not always the case. And of course, sex is not the only way that the hymen can be stretched. It can also be stretched while you're sitting on a bicycle, while you're riding a horse. And really, that is what the hymen is. It's not this thing that tells you whether you're a virgin or not. It's not the ultimate proof. It used to be considered the ultimate proof. They thought, oh no, that's the proof that a woman down there, she's a virgin and everything. But studies have shown that no, that is actually not true. And it's unfortunate that a lot of women don't know this. We still think, oh no, your hymen has to be intact to prove that you're a virgin. Like, no, bro, that's not it. The second myth is that a sexual partner can tell if you're a virgin or not. That, again, is not true. Now, neither your sexual partner nor a gynecologist can tell whether you're a virgin or not unless there has been considerable tearing down there. Maybe it was a sexual assault, or it was a really, rough sort of sexual play, but they can't tell, okay? And if a gynecologist cannot tell, your sexual partner can most definitely not tell. Like, I remember when I was back in Cameroon, guys would be like, oh, she wasn't tight enough, I'm sure she's had sex before, or she didn't bleed, I'm sure she's had sex before. And that's not true. They're not educated either. Don't be listening to some boy trying to tell you some BS about, prove that you're a virgin or you're not a virgin. No. Although virginity in itself is a myth. But your sexual partner cannot tell whether you've had sex or not. And by sex, I'm talking about intercourse. They cannot tell. Neither can a gynecologist. Because like I said, that hymen, it's not proof. Not everyone bleeds. Not everyone feels pain on their first sexual encounter. People are different. And also, like I was saying, virginity in itself is a complex word. Like, what is a virgin? Someone who's never had intercourse? What about oral sex? You know, what about other things that people do? Does that count as a virgin, you know, or not a virgin? What about if you were raped? That wasn't really sex, that was rape, you know, like, I mean, it wasn't consensual, it wasn't anything that automatically makes it sex. Does that not mean that you're no longer a virgin? Like, what's the whole blurry line? You know what I mean? What if you're a lesbian? What happens then? Like, you have no interest in having sex with a man. Does that mean you're an eternal virgin? Like, there's a whole blurry line, you know? And so don't get caught up in the whole idea of your sexual partner can or cannot tell whether you're a virgin, because truly, they cannot. I just had to interject for a second to say it is, however, good practice to let your sexual partner know about your sexual experiences. Because I think that is a good conversation to have in a relationship. I'm not saying to hide, but just, you know, be open. The third myth is that placing value, when we place value on virginity, what we're doing is protecting young girls and women. That, again, is not correct. When we place a value on ridiculous patriarchal ideas such as evaluating a woman's worth based on her sexual history or her sexual experiences, all we're doing is opening the door for women to be sexually, mentally, physically harassed and assaulted because they do not hold up to those standards that society is placing on them. At the end of the day, then, you're not protecting women. What you're doing is putting them out there for the world to bash and kick at them. You may be saying at this point, well, it's their fault. They went out, they had sex. But it's never anyone's fault. No one should be killed, assaulted, or ridiculed because they're doing what they enjoy doing. Like, no man, like, we don't take men who go out and have sex and enjoy having sex and say, oh my God, what a slut. We don't most of the time. We laud them for their prowess and, you know, being man and manly. Like, why shouldn't we let women also go out and do what they want to do with their bodies? After all, it is their body. Also, the term losing virginity, it just sounds so archaic to me. Like, what are we losing? We're not losing anything. You're not losing any part of you. I've heard it said that when women get older and they're still virgins, men tend to want to stay away from them because they're problematic women. But if they're young and they're having sex, then it's like, oh my gosh, they're a slut. You know, it's like, if you're a woman, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So you might as well do what you please. But of course, with everything, caution is advised. Like, I would totally say use caution with whatever choices you make, whatever decisions you make. You want to be cautious about those decisions. Not having sex or having sex should have nothing to do with society's decision or society's expectations of you. Now, at this point, if you're one of those people who's planning to make a comment about the analogy of the key and the lock, you know, a key opening too many locks or a lock, whatever that analogy is, don't, because I will block you. And here's why. It's because we women are not objects. We're not keys. We're not locks. Okay? We're human beings who have a right to make decisions for themselves. And we will make those decisions regardless of what you think or expect of us. Because we are, like you are, men, women, and people. The fourth myth is that we should be teaching young women and girls that abstinence is the only way to go, that sex is dangerous and, you know, can lead to unwanted pregnancies and STDs and STIs, so they should not be having sex at all. That again is another myth. Now here's the thing. I'm not saying that we shouldn't teach young women about abstinence and the dangers of having unprotected sex. Yes, we should, but we should not only be saying, oh my gosh,
sex is a dangerous thing. Don't ever do it. Don't hold a boy's hand. Don't let him touch you, because once he touches your hand, maybe you'll have sex and all of a sudden you're pregnant, or you're going to have AIDS or HIV or STDs or STIs.
That's not what we should be saying. We should be giving young girls and women the education, right? We should be teaching them about everything that has to do with sex. And then that way they can make educated decisions about whether they're having sex or not. And abstinence is a great way to go about it, but not everybody is going to be able to abstain. And here's the thing, whether we're teaching young people about sex or not, they are having sex. So it is better to tell them the reality, the truth about sex, because their friends and TV and books are telling that sex is fun and it's enjoyable and they want to go out and do this. It's like that thing where, you know, you tell somebody that you shouldn't do this thing, but they do it just because you said don't do it. You know what I mean? Like we have to be teaching young women and young girls and guys, giving everybody an education about sex and what it means to be having sex, and the consequences and choices and decisions that you have to make to be having sex. We have to be teaching them that, as opposed to saying,
don't have sex, you're going to hell, you're the worst person for having sex. If you ever have sex, you're the worst person in the world. Really.
That's not what we want. We don't want to be frightening young girls and young women. We don't want to be causing them trauma. You know what? We want to be giving them education so that they can make educated decisions, like with everything in life, you know? Like if it's politics, do you want to vote for someone? You have to make an educated decision. You're not voting for them because they're good looking, they're handsome. You want to make every choice that you make be based on knowledge that you have on that, as opposed to just doing things because, well, everyone else is doing it and it sounds like fun. The fifth one, which sounds a little like a segue from the fourth one, is women should stay pure for their husbands. Again, not true. First of all, not every woman wants to get married. So, there. Second of all, some women are lesbians and their wives don't want them pure. Or maybe they do. But hey, what I'm saying is that not everybody's going to get a husband. Not everybody wants a husband. Those are all, you know, little parts of the story. But here's the bigger thing. The whole notion of purity is a sham. Now, I grew up in a society and an environment where being pure and staying, you know, a virgin until marriage was really, the whole idea was rife. Like it wasn't something that they would say to you outrightly, but it was expected of you. You knew it. You grew up knowing it. Like I don't remember anyone ever saying, this is it. But you knew that was the expectation, that, you know,
you have to stay pure. You don't have to have a boyfriend. You don't have to date anyone. But you have to keep yourself pure for your husband so that you're married to home. You go into it a virgin and you can make your husband proud, and, you know,
all the good stuff that women have to do to keep their men happy. But really though, yes, you had to save yourself for marriage, but of course your husband was free to go practice so that he came to the marital bed skillful, although I'm not sure who he was supposed to be practicing with, like who, mermaids, magical women, anywho, that was the whole thing, you know, because if you didn't go into your marital home, or if people thought that you were not pure or had never had sex, cue the slut shaming.
Aquara, not fit for marriage, she slept with everyone in the neighborhood, that one, I don't want to touch her, this one.
You know, all those sort of slut shaming ideals, and talking about, oh my God, her vagina is so loose, like who's even gonna wanna go there? And this is something I just wanna say, like, there's guys who go around talking about how, oh, her vagina is too loose, blah, blah, like, dude, your penis is not big enough, okay? Women pop children out of that vagina, and your penis is nowhere big as that child's head. So keep your little penis away in the corner and let women rest in peace with you trying to be like, oh, everyone's gone through her and she's loose now. Like, no, dude, your penis isn't big enough to do that. The vagina is stretchy. Go, go, go. Okay? Okay, that was an aside. But anywho, before I went off on that tangent, I was saying, you know, we don't want to be telling women that they have to stay pure for their husbands. What about, for instance, young women, again, who have been assaulted? What are we telling them? That they're impure, they're dirty for the rest of their lives, that they can never be clean because a man had sex with them. And that often is the whole thing that young women who have been assaulted grapple with, that whole idea of being dirty and impure because, well, someone touched them, you know, a man had sex or forcefully used them in some way or another. But that's not the whole idea that we want to be propagating to young women. Having sex or not having sex doesn't make you pure or impure. Here we are teaching young women that not having sex makes them a good woman who are worthy of men's respect and love and adoration. And really, is that what we want to be teaching our young women? That they have to focus on what the man wants to gain validation? And of course, unfortunately, that patriarchal ideal really is something that we still are living through. But really, of course, like I'm saying, it is BS. You do not have to be pure for anybody but yourself. Anywho, those were 5 myths that I hopefully busted about sex, the hymen, and being a virgin. There's so much more. And all of this, I call it patriarchal hullabaloo. Like, you know, patriarchal nonsense that we are being fed. Because this nonsense really is rooted in keeping the patriarchy strong and alive. And having the man be the boss, right? And the woman's whole life and existence being dependent and surrounded or comprised of keeping and pleasing a man. I mean, who wants to live like that? I sure don't. I don't want to live my whole life thinking about how what I'm doing is affecting the way men see me. I could care less about the way men see me. You know what I mean? Like, my whole existence is not meant to keep a man happy. And truth be told, as an adult, I still grapple with the whole sex thing. Like, you know, I still grapple with the whole sex thing because of the sort of education and expectations that I had from, you know, society, school, friends, who I would like, the whole idea of it. I still grapple with it, and I'm still not in a whole place. Like, sometimes I feel like, oh yeah, no, I'm all there, feminist, out there making sure women can do what they want. And then every now and then something happens and I'm like, ugh, look at her. And I go, oh, right then it's like knee-jerk reaction. Like, wake up, Jocelyn, you didn't just say that, you know? And I have to keep educating and re-educating myself. And it takes a lot of work to do that. And I think that is something that we all need to be willing to do. Take the time, put in the work to educate ourselves and educate those around us. And so I'm hoping that with this video, you probably learned something, and you can share it with your friends, share it with your family, like, comment, subscribe. Please do feel free to really comment and tell me about your stories or whatever it is, you know, your myths that you've learned, that you heard about sex or being a virgin or the hymen growing up. I know a lot of you sent me messages, like you sent me private messages after watching my videos and telling me how great they are.
Comment on those videos for the love of God.
So that it can strike a conversation and other people can have their ideas. When you tell me alone, of course I enjoy that, but at the end of the day, I'd like you to comment under the video. So, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. And yeah, see you next time. Love. Hymen. I butchered the Chinese, but I still love you all.